Gentlemen, welcome to Tuskegee Army Airfield. I'm Colonel Noel Rogers, the commanding officer. This is Major Sherman Joy, Director of Training, and Lieutenant Glenn, Liaison Officer. It is the task of myself, Major Joy, Lieutenant Glenn, and others at this training facility to train and evaluate you men as potential combat pilots. There have been many obstacles on the road to getting you here. Now that you are here, the only obstacle you will encounter will be how quick you learn, how well you obey orders, and how expert you fly. If I am the first to tell you that your being here is an experiment, take time to understand just what that means. There are people in very high places wondering if this will succeed. If I and my staff have anything to say about it, it will. However, we will cut no corners. We will allow no favors. Our business is killing our enemies from the air as efficiently and expeditiously as we know how. Now, assuming you make it through this training, that task will be your honor. Lieutenant, Major.
Why did you join the Air Corps? Cadet.
Sir.
I don't like repeating myself, Cadet.
Serve my country, sir.
Your country. Why, are you stupid?
No, sir.
You people. Well, don't you know how bad we treat you people? Serving your country. This ain't your country. Your country's full of apes and gorillas, malaria, missionaries.
Ain't no gorillas in Harlem.
Why'd you join the Air Corps, boy?
This country has enemies, sir, and there are people who need protecting from those enemies.
What people, nigga?
All people, sir. To my knowledge, the Germans aren't sparing the colors.
To my knowledge, the colored aren't up to fighting the Germans, let alone beating them.
Max Schmeling found out differently, sir.
Well, you know what? My job is to see if you Joe Lewises can fly. Now, in case the Colonel gave you the wrong impression, let me clear it up. You are nothing special.
You just heard two very different speeches from two very different officers. I hope you were paying attention. It is my job as liaison officer to ease your transition to military life. Reveillees at 0600, PTs at 0630, and breakfasts at 0730. At the top of the military command structure is President Roosevelt as Commander-in-Chief. At the bottom is you, the cadet. Everything you need can and will be found on this base. Everything you need to know has the words U.S. Army Air Corps written on the cover. If it doesn't, you don't need it.
ladies and gents in Cyberland, coming back to you with another film review, and this time we're on to a film about World War II and the fighter pilots that were involved in it. The Tuskegee Airmen. So I remember when this came out, it was an HBO special kind of thing. It wasn't like in theaters, and it had a behind the scenes thing. I remember watching the behind the scenes first because it was interesting to see another thing about World War II, because World War II always gets mentioned a lot, and I checked it out and it looked appealing to me. It was something different for me, and when the film premiered, I think I missed like the first 20 minutes of it, but I watched the rest of it. I gotta say, it was very entertaining. It was very motivating. It was very positive. It had its negative parts, of course, like during that time period, racial discrimination and segregation and racism, but nonetheless, it was great to see my people fighting for what they believed in and fighting for the United States during World War II and persevering through that difficult time of trying to even become pilots for the United States Air Force. And these guys were exceptionally good. They were very good at what their job was to do, whether that was escorting bombers or taking out shipment yards or taking out enemies in the air. They were good at what they did. Of course, as in all wars, certain members were killed, or certain pilots were taken out. So. But nonetheless, it was just a great film. I loved it. I give it a 10 out of 10 yes sirs. It focused on the psychology and not the physical, more the mental anguish of not only the characters trying to survive, but make sure their friends survived and make sure that they were able to keep their head on tight with all the unnecessary bullshit that they were having to deal with. And then, of course, it was one of those things where with any war, like I said, you start to lose friends the further you're in it, or your lights get taken out. And how, if you're still surviving, but one by one your friends are dropping, how do you carry on? How do you mentally continue to do what needs to be done because you have a job to do? You can't just go AWOL, go to prison for that. Or you could be, lined up against the wall and shot kind of thing. It was also interesting to see how Congress, the politics that was going on, where you had a certain amount of people just that didn't want this thing to go through because literally it was just based around their ideology that black men can't do things that white men can do, and they were going to do anything they can to make sure that stayed that way and keep up the status quo, that black men should not be involved in anything that white men are involved in, kind of thing. And you saw that throughout the film. And there were other pilots that were exhibiting that type of behavior too, up until they personally had to see with their own eyes what some of the black aviators were able to do and what they had to do. and that's when their attitude started to change. Crazy thing is, you would think when somebody saved your life, it doesn't matter what the color of their skin is, the fact is they saved your ass. But some aviators, some military personnel didn't see it that way. So with that being said, if you've never seen the film, check it out. There's ways of finding it. You won't be disappointed. And it overall, it has its moments, with the negativity, but it is a positive film at the end of the day. And it served the purpose to show that, World War II had a lot of factors in why this country was able to help the British and the Russians, defeat Germany and Italy and Japan. There's so many factors, but this is just one of the reasons why I would say that, because let's not forget the atomic bomb. Let's not forget, Battle of the Bulge kind of thing. So, that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.